This program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
From wild sex parties.
You might walk into a room and try and figure out how many bodies are joined.
To far out fantasies.
I had a client come into the dungeon and wanted to bring in cockroaches.
And every indulgence under the sun.
Whether it's girls or parties, they obviously do a really good job of keeping it very under the radar.
Beyond the red carpets and movie sets lies a forbidden Hollywood known only to the rich and famous.
Celebrities are used to having the world in the palm of their hands.
But what really goes on behind the scenes?
We don't ask questions, we don't judge, we don't name names.
How far will celebrities go to satisfy their urges?
This is Hollywood. Money talks.
And what shocking fads and fetishes will be exposed when we draw back the curtain and take a glimpse into secret societies of Hollywood. Hollywood, California. For the past 100 years, it's been a symbol of all that is glitzy and glamorous. A town where beautiful people enjoy a beautiful lifestyle that most of us can only dream of. But behind closed doors is a land of unparalleled access and excess, where money is no object and hedonism knows no limits. Here, celebrities can indulge in whatever hot trend, kinky fetish, or odd obsession they desire.
Everything and anything has a price on it out there. It's just how much they're willing to pay for it.
When you're that wealthy or you have that kind of celebrity, you have an expectation to have whatever you want and whoever you want.
It's no secret that sex and Hollywood go hand in hand. And in this town, when they say sex sells, they mean it. But what you may be surprised to hear is who's buying it.
Celebrities are famous for throwing their monies around on naked girls and naked boys.
I know a lot of male celebrities who do get a lot of prostitutes. They know what they're getting. They know it's professional. They know the girls will do a good job and there's no emotion involved.
When they go to a prostitute, you could really assume that they're getting the sex for free, and what they're really paying for is their silence.
Charlie Sheen is somebody who has spoken very openly about that. He feels that they serve a purpose. It means that it's not going to get complicated. It's not going to become a relationship. Hugh Grant, of course, had his very famous prostitution encounter with Divine Brown.
The Hugh Grant story was an amazing model for celebrities because basically here he got busted in this inarguably humiliating way. And rather than doing what all celebrities do, which is to, lie and cover up, he went on Leno. And he said, yes, I did this. And within 24 hours, people had basically forgiven him and forgotten.
Not everyone forgave. Grant's relationship with model Elizabeth Hurley didn't survive the fallout.
It's incredibly stressful. It's just exactly what you'd think.
But while some celebs troll the boulevard for tricks, others take a more proactive approach by enlisting the help of a true Hollywood secret society.
If you're a celebrity and you want to experience sex outside the box, you might use your team of people to help you find those discreet professionals. You might use your assistant's assistant to find that prostitute that has that proclivity that you desire. But you're always going to use your team if you know what's good for you.
But these ladies don't always just wait to be hired. They go on the prowl at the hottest bars and clubs in Hollywood.
I can either confirm or deny that we have at some point partaken in making sure a night ends well for a customer.
That doesn't necessarily mean that you've paid for girls for people to take home. It just means if you can make a connection between two people and they like each other, then that's a wonderful thing. If they happen to be spending a lot of money, That's even better.
The women end up at these high-end parties that are going home with the celebrities. Sometimes they're just looking for a fun night, or they need the money, and at the end of the day, everybody just wants to get paid.
And when it comes to famous people with fetishes, the kinkier, the better.
But celebrities, because they have so much, because they have access to everything, are really known a lot of times to do things in a deviant way that other people wouldn't do.
A certain film director has a certain proclivity for a very attractive male actor. So since he can't get his hands on him, what he likes to do is hire a bunch of lookalikes to come to the house and pretend to be him.
Well, there's one former Saturday Night Live comedian who has been known to pick up day laborers and then bring them back to his house and then offer them cash to shower naked in front of him.
As a dominatrix, I see a lot of clients who 100% of the time are in charge and are supposed to be strong, don't show weakness, and those same people behind closed doors will want more than anything to put on a pair of thigh highs and a pair of heels and be called my sissy. There's this powerful man who walks into the room in a suit and tie, and within 5 minutes, it's the complete opposite of what he's expected to be every day.
Whatever the bizarre carnal appetite, you can be sure that someone's making money off of satisfying it.
There are people out there that can sort of provide ways to give the celebrity whatever they want, whether it's girls or parties, the orgies. They obviously do a really good job of keeping it very under the radar.
It starts out with certain types of girls, then it's other types of girls, then it's multiple girls, then it's girls wearing weird outfits, and then there's furry uniforms, and it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier.
If you have a fantasy and you have the money to fulfill that fantasy, I don't care how crazy it is, there is somebody who wants to get paid.
Whether or not money changes hands, the secret sex lives of the rich and famous have always been fascinating to the rest of us. And like everything else in Hollywood, you can bet that what happens here between the sheets is bigger, badder, and a whole lot weirder. Coming up.
You're talking about whips, chains, suffocation.
Guys kind of being led on dog collars.
And they would have off-duty strippers who would do whatever people wanted.
This guy is a madman on par with the late Michael Jackson.
She's worn satanic clothing. She drinks blood.
I guess she thought nobody would ever see that.
People believe is a wink and a nod to the Illuminati.
Viewer discretion is advised.
When it comes to sex in Hollywood, just about anything goes, as long as it's legal-ish. And fans love nothing more than to hear about or watch stars doing the nasty. Paris, Kendra, Pam, and Tommy all springboarded into the spotlight thanks to people's obsession with celebrity sexcapades.
We're all obsessed with finding out the dirty sex secrets of celebrities and famous people because it gives us a little window into what their private lives are like.
That's the great thing about being a celebrity. You can exploit every kink, every passion, every piece of strange you want to in this world, and somebody will have a pop-up club to cater to just that.
The latest trend in high-end Hollywood hookups for cash is the secret celebrity sex club.
This is how it works. They have a big fat Rolodex of celebrities or the various people in their entourages who can get to them and get them to show up at these clubs. Once you're in, there's girls that are flown in from strip clubs in Vegas, from all over the world, who are working and turning tricks in these venues.
It would be a different place every time, some big mansion. Then they would have off-duty strippers who would basically do whatever people wanted.
For years, mostly male celebrities have been frequenting organized secret sex parties that randomly pop up around town. But now, a UK entrepreneur is conquering Hollywood with her provocatively named sex club, geared toward women.
Killing kittens is a concept we launched 8 years ago. It's slang for every time a female masturbates, God kills a kitten. And then at the parties, we have couples that have this sort of ultimate fancy of having a threesome, and we have girls who are bi-curious, who want to mess around with other girls. There's so many different sort of reasons why people attend.
Killing Kittens employs a strict vetting policy that begins with an application for one of their coveted memberships. Only the creme de la creme need apply.
To remember, you go onto the website, you submit your details, you submit a photo. If you're accepted, you'll get a username and a password, and then you'll receive the party invite.
If you're lucky enough to get on the list and get past the uber-tight security, you enter a world of hedonism worthy of Hollywood.
Every party is completely different. You might walk into a room and try and figure out how many bodies are joined, or you'll walk into another room and there's 5 girls having a giggle with, whips.
It's very eyes wide shut. It's pretty mind-blowing to take what you see in the movie and then actually walk through the front doors and it's going on.
It's always funny when you see people sort of bent over antique furniture, or guys kind of being led on dog collars across tapestries.
I was at a party once where I was doing a performance, and everyone was in tuxedos and evening gowns and eye masks. And I distinctly saw a very well-known male celebrity. He came in with 2 women, and he had a mask on, but we all knew it was him.
Well, at the parties, we do get a lot of celebrities or sports stars. There's been a few times where I've been chatting away to people and they've got quite a big mask on, and 4 hours later, the mask is kind of half off their face, and I realised who I was having conversations with.
The other, perhaps even more titillating side to the sex club industry is customized fantasy fulfillment. And whether your pleasure is swinging, sex slaves, or something even more salacious, this stuff doesn't come cheap.
When it comes to the cost of organising fantasies, we've had one that was about £30,000, which I think is about $50,000. And that was a lord that wanted a private party. He was bisexual and he wanted 5 guys serving him naked and 10 girls, and he sort of dominated the girls and ordered them around and was dressed in a general's outfit. There was a guy that had a serious foot fetish that we lined up 15 girls, and he lay there and got walked over in stilettos and massaged their feet and sucked their toes for a large amount of money.
No request is too bizarre or too elaborate. They've heard it all.
We organise a lot of people's fantasies, ranging from someone that wanted to be kidnapped by Batman and rescued by a Marilyn Monroe lookalike.
You're talking about whips, chains, suffocation, infantilism, putting a diaper on them and a pacifier in their mouth. I know one actor who enjoys getting wrapped up in saran wrap with a breathing hole for his mouth.
But on rare occasions, when the price may be right, but the request is just plain wrong, a Hollywood hotshot may get shot down. Where do the fantasy fulfillment specialists draw the line?
I had a client come into the dungeon, and he's into squishing. Step on tomatoes, step on peanuts, anything that will create a sound or a smell. And this person wanted to bring in cockroaches. And I said, no way.
Hollywood's rich and famous live in a dream world where almost anyone and anything can be bought. So what happens when some celebs chase a personal statement that's a little more permanent? Coming up.
He has a chick with a penis on his back.
He said that it has a secret meaning that he doesn't want to talk about, paying homage to the Illuminati.
No one gets photographed more than a Hollywood starlet donning her latest designer duds. But for some young stars and a few older ones, their biggest fashion statements are inked right into their skin.
Back in the day, the only people that had tattoos were retired sailors. They had the anchor on their arm. But all of a sudden, every rock and roller was sporting some sort of arm sleeve tattoo or tribal motif. And of course, actors, they all want to be rock and roll. So they get the tattoos.
Tattoos are becoming more and more popular in Hollywood. Look at the list of celebrities covered in tattoos. David Beckham, Adam Levine, Rihanna, Harry Styles, Justin Bieber, and the list is just getting longer and longer.
Celebrities like to be the first people to do things. They like to start trends.
Whether it's a fad or a fetish, some celebs take their ink very seriously. British soccer sensation David Beckham is a veritable canvas of body art, prominently featuring the names of his wife and kids. But let's face it, not all celebrity tattoos are so well thought out.
One of my favorite all-time ridiculous tattoos is Gucci Mane's ice cream cone on his face. I mean, it just doesn't get more intense than that.
Steve-O from Jackass, well, that jackass is stuck with a bunch of gnarly, ugly tattoos, including one of his own face.
Mark Wahlberg has a tattoo of Mark Wahlberg on his arm, I guess in case he forgets his name. Kesha decided to get "suck it" written in her inner lip. I guess she thought nobody would ever see that, but apparently somebody did. Dennis Rodman has a chick with a penis on his back. Kimberly Stewart got Daddy's Little Girl tattooed around her hip area. Get it on your arm, maybe on your heart, not down here.
Chris Brown, not the most remorseful chap in the world, because after he had physically abused Rihanna, he reappears with a tattoo of a woman who appears to have been beaten up, like right there on his neck.
But by far, the biggest blunder celebs make in the tattoo chair is emblazoning their skin with the hookup du jour. Pam and Tommy, Mel and Eddie, Paris and Nick. The list goes on and on.
We've seen numerous stories of celebrity couples getting each other's names all over their bodies or getting rings on their fingers.
Mariah Carey has this little tiny butterfly tattoo, and in teeny tiny letters it says Mrs. Cannon on her lower back, whereas Nick Cannon has a giant Mariah tattoo all the way across his back. So there's obviously some imbalance in that relationship.
So what happens if and when the relationship loses its luster? How hard is it to rewrite history once it's been permanently inked on? Angelina Jolie had a tat of her ex, Billy Bob, lasered off and covered with the coordinates of her kids' birthplaces. Johnny Depp cleverly shortened his Winona Forever ink down to Wino Forever. Denise Richards' Charlie is now a fairy.
In tattoo shops, we have a running joke where if somebody comes in to get their boyfriend or girlfriend's name tattooed on them, we'll see them in the next 6 months to cover it up.
There are even more extreme ways to stand out in Hollywood, though. Stars like Lil Wayne are sparking a whole new trend, the UV tattoo that glows in the dark. But perhaps even more peculiar are the tattoos found on both Drake and Justin Bieber. Mysterious owl tattoos, the significance of which neither likes to discuss.
Justin Bieber was asked what the meaning of his tattoo was right after he got it, and he said that it has a secret meaning that he doesn't want to talk about. But it's almost identical to the owl of the Bohemian Grove, the infamous Illuminati retreat where about 1,000 of the world's most powerful men meet every summer. So many people believe that Justin Bieber's owl tattoo is the same as Drake's owl symbol, paying homage to the Illuminati. Justin Bieber also has a large tattoo of an eye, what looks to be an all-seeing eye on his arm that many people believe is a wink and a nod to the Illuminati controllers as well.
Many claim there are even more celebrities who ink themselves with Illuminati imagery, like Soulja Boy's Eye of Providence Pyramid, or Kesha's all-seeing eye tattooed on her hand. But why?
The Illuminati is the most powerful secret society in the world. Hollywood is one branch of the Illuminati because entertainment is so powerful. Entertainment shapes the culture. Entertainment keeps people distracted from issues that actually matter.
Is this just one subculture within Hollywood's power elite? And what other secret societies might be pulling the strings behind Hollywood's velvet ropes? Coming up.
These are the people who own the industries, who decide which projects are going to get green-lighted.
Just like anything, it gets corrupt. You could purchase anything. Drugs, murder for hire.
Hollywood started on the big screen, expanded to the small screen, and now the entire entertainment industry is right in the palms of our hands. Social media is a fetish for many stars, fueled by an obsession for online validation. Because the latest celebrity trend is to be trending. And it's all a numbers game, being run by a secret society of masterminds.
Hollywood has its own network of various secret societies to gain and maintain power, control. These are the people who own the industries, who decide who's going to get propelled to a certain level of success, which projects are going to get green-lighted.
When networks call me for my talent now, in the old days, they'd ask me questions. What's their height? What's their weight? Are they union? Now it's like, okay, what are their social stats? How many Twitter followers? How many Instagram? How many likes do they get on Facebook?
Ashton Kutcher was one of the first celebrities to get on the Twitter bandwagon. And Ashton made a big deal when he got 1 million Twitter followers. Right now, 1 million Twitter followers? It's like a little drop in the bucket.
The talent topping the most followed list includes Katy Perry, Justin Bieber, and Lady Gaga, each with more than 40 million followers. But who exactly are these so-called followers? And who gets what out of this symbiotic cyber relationship?
And celebrities are able to make a lot of money off their social media followers. A lot of celebrities are paid to disseminate things through their social media streams.
It's a money-making machine. They're paid by companies to mention their name in a tweet. They get lots of money. It just takes like 140 characters or less. You can make tens of thousands of dollars.
Celebrities aren't being honest about what they do. They're getting paid to tell you they're doing it.
But all that money can't buy common sense.
Happy birthday, Justin Bieber!
When celebs mix those 140 characters with poor judgment, the result can be a public relations nightmare.
Madonna thought, hey, it's okay if I use the N-word. She learned pretty fast. No, it's not okay, Madonna.
We don't really think it's a smart idea to post yourself smoking pot online, but they do it all the time. What I have to do with celebrities who think it's okay to post pictures of themselves doing illegal things is put them in Twitter jail.
Even if they've managed to claw their way to the top of the Twitterverse, some social media climbers are often surprised to discover how they really got there.
There have been some controversies surrounding some celebrities and their followings on social media. They've been accused of buying followers. There are companies out there that will sell you followers.
What happens with social media, just like anything in the business, it gets corrupt.
Many Many celebs have been accused of buying fake followers to pad their social media stats. Katy Perry was the first person to hit 50 million Twitter followers, but online social media analysts have found that more than 10 million of those are inactive.
Katy Perry. She was talking about, oh my God, she has more Twitter followers than anybody in the whole entire universe, right? Then people do a little digging and come to find out. It looks like she's got the most. Well, with everything good, we find the bad. We can tell who's buying, who's inflated.
Just what drives this obsession for social media celebrity? Is it all about the money? Or is there something more?
Many celebrities sell their souls to this system. They sell out their own values, their own morals. They're used as a tool to really poison the minds of the public, to spread propaganda in exchange for the wealth and the fame.
What else does the public not know about the secret societies of the online world? A new trend to use an electronic currency called Bitcoin is currently under investigation by the government because it can be used to make untraceable and illegal transactions online.
The electronic crimes program that the Secret Service has advised any latest threats that have come out. So that's why we were involved with Bitcoins.
The investigation revealed an industry once never heard of, the deep web, the internet's version of off the grid, where hidden websites exist.
The website was called Silk Road, and that website was where you could purchase, with these Bitcoins, anything. Drugs of any kind of weapons, murder for hire. You just name it, it was available.
The Silk Road was recently shut down by the FBI. But what other industries might use these secret means to wield their power? And where? One thing is known, whether online or on screen, fame can always be fleeting. But for as long as it lasts, Hollywood's rich and famous live in a world where almost anyone and anything can be bought. Coming up.
She drinks blood. She has collected teeth from her band.
For the right amount of money, anything can happen for you.
We don't ask questions, we don't judge, and even when we talk, if we talk, we don't name names.
Whether they're making it rain Benjamins or busting out the black card, Hollywood A-listers look at shopping as a sport. So when a jewelry store or car dealer sees a celeb coming, they're thinking, let the games begin.
They're spending it as fast as they're making it. Instead of buying one car, they buy 6. They buy the most outrageous things, and everything they're buying, they're paying top dollar for.
But is there a secret society of celebrities who are obsessed with buying only the most strange and peculiar possessions? Mike Tyson shelled out $140,000 for house pets, a pair of rare white Bengal tigers. Hip-hop star Akon wanted to be the king of bling so badly, he bought his own diamond mine. And Lady Gaga allegedly forked over $50 grand for electromagnetic field equipment to keep her safe from ghosts. But how do the elite get access to such bizarre big-ticket items? That's where a secret society known as the Celebrity Concierge comes in.
My kind of services are sought out by celebrities because we are inside, but just far enough outside to keep everything safe. We don't ask questions, we don't judge, and even when we talk, if we talk, we don't name names.
We get a lot of strange requests, like all kinds of things.
One of the biggest customers in the world has a fetish with health. And so when he comes to a venue, he wants the venue to be called Club 666. He has a floor mat that says 666, and he is a customer that will buy a 15-liter Ace Rosé, which roughly costs about $100,000 to $150,000.
For the right amount of money, anything can happen for you.
With millions to spend, no one splurges like Hollywood heavy hitters. But how far does the spending go? And why?
I think it is this effort to fill this hole that's never going to be filled with adoration of the public, with money, with cars, with watches, or anything else.
They become collectors, and it's a very narcissistic thing. I mean, collecting is very selfish. You want to own these things, right? One of the things collectors like to do the most, though, is show them off.
When engaging in straight-up retail therapy stops filling the emotional void, some celebs kick it up a few notches, seeking out more oddball things to collect and ways to display their collections. Barbra Streisand is a renowned collector who meticulously shows off her items in an underground mall beneath her Malibu estate.
Instead of building closets to store all of her stuff, she built a street. She built a little shopping mall, Cobblestone Street, and all different stores. There's a doll shop called Bee's Doll Shop for her doll collection, and a dress shop for her old clothes.
But there are some celebrities whose collections seem more like macabre obsessions.
Take a look at Kesha. She's worn satanic pentagram earrings and clothing. She drinks blood, or what looks to be like blood, on stage out of a heart in a bizarre ritual. She has collected teeth from her fans, over 1,000 of them, she said, and made them into a headdress and a bra, and says that that's her most prized possession.
For these celebrities, where is the line between hobby and hoarding?
Katy Perry has an affinity for hair samples. She likes to collect a lock of hair from every celebrity she meets. Nicolas Cage, bless his heart, has got to be the grandest collector of all time. This guy is a madman on par with the late Michael Jackson in terms of things that he liked to have around the house.
By 2009, after years of raking in the big box office bucks, Nicolas Cage owed the IRS millions in back taxes and penalties. It was time to start shedding some of his sizable assets, which included 2 castles, multiple mansions, a flotilla of yachts, and one really pricey dinosaur head. Needless to say, his gargantuan garage sale was hard to keep on the down low.
Nicolas Cage is a good example. He was losing homes and cars and selling things and auctioning things, but it started to leak because he was in such a frenzy to sell things that people were picking up on it, and then it started getting written about in the press.
Tori Spelling is one of those celebrities that people scratch their head about. How in the world could she have money problems? She was born into one of the wealthiest TV families in Beverly Hills, living in the biggest mansion Beverly Hills has ever seen. And even she, like many other people, was in financial straits.
So just what happens when shopping loses its luster? Superstars seek out other ways to find fulfillment and assert their social status. But some LA insiders prefer the company of VIPs of a different breed. Coming up.
She got rid of it because the thing bit her.
You're traveling with a pet, so you need a private jet. I do that every day.
Now, that dead bird can live with her daughter forever.
Trends and status symbols come in many forms in Hollywood, from seaside sanctuaries and pimped-out planes to Birkins and Bugattis. But some celebs find that nothing complements fame better than a faithful, four-legged friend. And celebrities have always had an affinity for less conventional animal companions.
Hugh Hefner has a huge collection of not just beautiful women hanging around, but also tons of animals.
It's so monkeys. There's monkeys.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's ridiculous.
Paris Hilton, she once had a kinkajou. Reportedly, she got rid of it because the thing bit her. So that's an example of don't collect exotic animals.
Paris Hilton may have recovered from her kinkajou bite, but just like any Hollywood-inspired fad, these living, breathing accessories cycle in and out of fashion.
Celebrities and their animals. I mean, they get these things like jewelry. They're showpieces.
Kristen Stewart has this pet wolf because she was in a movie, Twilight, which had wolves.
Now the big craze is the mini pig or the micro pig. Pigs take 5 to 6 years to grow to their full size. So if you're going out and you're spending $10,000 on a mini pig, and then all of a sudden you have a 400 to 600 pound pig in your apartment.
Whatever the pet of choice, celebrities happily drop the cash required to ensure their furry friends want for nothing. The Yankee pitcher Masahiro Tanaka spent nearly $200,000 to charter a 787 Dreamliner to travel with his dog.
You're traveling with a pet, so you need a private jet? That's like so done. That's easy. I do that every day.
And it's not just the pet's practical needs that have to be met. Sometimes what an animal really needs is emotional support.
As a pet medium, I can communicate with people's animals, living or past, and I do it telepathically. So basically, their animals are showing me images, or they're making me feel how they feel.
The professionals who cater to celebrities and their pets are privy to animal pampering at its peak. They've seen it all.
Lisa Vanderpump and Jiggy. She gets Jiggy's clothes made in all different outfits depending on the occasion.
I had a client who brought her dogs to me because she was worried that they didn't like the clothes that she was putting them in. The outfits started at $3,000 or $4,000 a piece, and they had closets full. One of the dogs had a skin infection and he was missing hair in certain places, and she actually had pieces made to cover up the bald spots so he wouldn't feel insecure. Paris Hilton, for example, she has a dog house that is a mini version of her house.
When celebrity pets pass on, some of their owners choose less conventional options, like taxidermy.
Here's a sad little fairy tale. Angelina Jolie's daughter, Shiloh, found a dead bird, and she wanted to keep it. What did Angelina do? She went and got a taxidermy bird, and now that dead bird can live with her daughter forever.
Some pet lovers will even ink a permanent memorial on their body. Then there are those celebrities who want to make sure their pets remain pampered long after they're gone.
Drew Barrymore left her dog Flossie an actual mansion in Beverly Hills. She actually saved Drew from a fire in their home years ago, and ever since then, Drew was just forever indebted to that dog.
The most shining example of that would have to be Oprah. She's planning on leaving $30 million to her pets.
That kind of illustrates the crazy level of love that Hollywood celebrities feel towards their pets.
So just how far is too far when it comes to the latest animal obsessions? There's a new secret fad to outfit animals with custom tattoos that has sent shockwaves of controversy through the press.
I'm sure that in the slums of Hollywood, there are things going on that we don't know about.
Will celebrities do anything to make their mark on society? And just how deep does their influence reach? Coming up.
People with money always want to push the limit and do something that's never been done before.
They're also paying 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, sometimes $100,000 a month. Who can afford that?
In Hollywood, it's all about what's happening right now. By the time a hot new trend catches on in Kansas, it's already played out in LA. There is a secret society of Hollywood elite that doesn't just follow the trends, they set them. But just how much influence does this exclusive group really have over the rest of America?
Celebrities like to fancy themselves always on the cutting edge. They're always looking for the latest trend or the newest thing and be the one sort of responsible for creating a shockwave across the country.
And just as the public will blindly follow the lead of Hollywood's hottest stars, celebrities also follow the trends of their in-crowd. But is it all for show?
Seems like every celebrity right now wants to have a green vehicle. So, you see Leonardo DiCaprio with his Prius, yet he's still flying private. So it's an interesting juxtaposition of, are you really helping the environment or are you just doing it for the press?
I want to do something that is reflective of our very culture.
Celebrities who want to be the trendsetters, what are they doing right now? They're traveling to islands that are hard to get to. Think about Zanzibar off the west coast of Africa. You have to take 3 jets to get there.
There's a place when I was just in Australia. It's called The Island, and it's a floating barge in Sydney Harbor. And you can only get there by boat. They float it right underneath the Sydney Bridge. It's a crazy dance party. There's no better way to control your guest list by saying you can only get there by yacht. Nobody's walking up to the door of your barge.
When you're on the A-list, you don't just go to any club. The latest fad in the celebrity world is membership-only clubs. So exclusive, even some celebrities can't get in.
Some of these membership-only clubs are very exclusive, and you can't buy your way in. And that's why they keep themselves so cool. There's a rigorous screening process that goes through it if you're going to get in. You can't just come up with money and get in.
But could there be an even more bizarre and exclusive locale where a secret society of celebrities throng?
In the addiction world, there is a secret society in Hollywood. It's the mecca of rehab, right? We have the best rehabs in the world.
The sad fact of Hollywood life, celebrity life, is rehab is trendy.
You're also paying 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, sometimes $100,000 a month. Who can afford that? I mean, VIPs, high-end businessmen, and celebrities.
Will the secret societies of Hollywood use their spending power and influence to get anything they want?
People with money always want to push the limit and do something that's never, ever been done before. Like, there was a guy last New Year's who took a 747 and did double New Year's Eve. So he got 2 of them. Took a whole crew with them, a couple celebrities too, and they did double New Year's Eve. So they did it in 2 different time zones.
Joining an exclusive rehab clique or jetting around the globe for an around-the-world party might seem out of this world. But it's nothing compared to the very latest A-list trend, which is literally out of this world. In Hollywood today, the rich and famous are reaching for the stars.
Space travel is definitely an up-and-comer. Rumor out there that Justin Bieber, Russell Brand, and Ashton Kutcher are counting up their frequent flyer points to get a ticket.
Do all fads start in Hollywood? Will the public stop at nothing to get a taste of what it's like to be part of the in-crowd?
All trends aren't necessarily born in Hollywood, but let's just say if they land there, they'll certainly take off. Hollywood is ground zero for every major trend that we see in this country and around the globe.
There's a lot of pressure to be a part of the in-crowd. Unfortunately, in our business, it's very fickle. So if you're not in, you're out. And if you're out, you're on the outside looking in.
The secret societies of Hollywood are constantly upping the ante when it comes to their fads and fetishes. But is there a secret world filled with even more outrageous A-list antics that we don't even know about? Obsessions too dark to see the light of day. Secret escapades too outlandish to be believed. And extravagances only known to the ultra-elite. Perhaps Hollywood's darkest and most closely held secrets have yet to be revealed.